Good evening and welcome back to the Full Force Racing League. It has been a long time coming, but we are finally back on the commentary with the live streams. Here today we're starting with the last round of pre-season and it's Division 3 taking us around Hungary. The Hungary ring is a very, very difficult track. Many call it Monaco but without the walls. Without further ado, my commentary partner for tonight and indeed for the season going forward is Mozza. Mozza, how are you doing?
I'm marvellous, mate. Thank you for the opportunity to do a bit of commentary.
That's alright.
Gonna be an interesting one today because we've got a right mix of drivers and obviously a new game. Well, a new game within a new game.
Literally, yes, of course, with the 106 patch, changing what was already quite a vastly different handling model, rewarding different types of players compared to last season. What's your thoughts on going through the 106 patch? Did you prefer it pre-patch? Are you more comfortable with it now? What do you think our drivers will prefer?
I didn't mind it at all because I use all the assists except for obviously steering and braking. I use traction, ABS, and it didn't really change anything for me until I found out about the tyre pressure thing.
Yes, now, the tyre pressure, probably debatably the biggest change, do you think, in the patch?
Oh, 100%. It's the most important part of your setup now. So I found that out the hard way. Up until the patch, I hadn't spun. It might take curbs, gravel and grass out of the equation. Full throttle on every single corner of every track. I tried spinning on purpose, and it wasn't achievable with full traction. Now, if you get the tyre pressures wrong, it can be a couple of laps and you spin a lot.
Of course, because they do heat up rather quick, and cooling down is a different ball game altogether. I experienced it myself with the fade. It's just the car washes with understeer. It almost feels like, obviously you know that is what understeer is, but the fronts, they just don't grip, they don't bite. They're fading away. It's almost like a fade in a golf swing, where it just keeps drawing out and out and out, and there's no way to bring it back in. So it definitely adds an element to the racing. You know, drivers have to race a little bit smarter now, I feel, this year. They can't
for me,
just
that's
go...
impossible because my driving style has always just been burn the tyres.
So basically go hard or go home.
Yeah, I've always been terrible at preserving tyres. I'm a tyre shredder, so if you start on the mediums and I start on the hards and we put it on the same lap, we'll have the same percentage of wear. So this is a big problem for me. My original Hungary setup I had to go on the other day in a practice session on the mediums. After 2 laps, the rears were so hot, as if I'd just done a few donuts, that I'd spin on every corner. Took a lap to cool them down.
Not the sort of donut you like as well, is it?
No, not chocolate covered in sprinkles.
Oh really? I like the ones with custard in the middle, bit of a treat. Num num.
So even with a whole lap of cooling them down, within a lap and a half they were back to the same temperatures and impossible to drive. Literally impossible, no point in racing.
Sounds like a pretty grim experience, but I can relate to it. I did not change my tyre pressures at all after the patch until doing, I think, a complete race. Oh, we got a spinner. It's Madge. Madge has had a spin in the Mercedes. Looks to be a little bit of damage there. He was just on his out lap, coming through to start his hot lap, and the rear just couldn't cope with the power. Put a bit too much down, didn't get the traction, and he was spinning like a Beyblade.
Well, again, I've definitely noticed that some people haven't actually realised the tyre pressure situation yet.
No.
So for my setup, it is now everything is as far left as it possibly can go on this track.
What,
I'm
as far left as Jeremy Corbyn?
Way lefter. Way lefter. And it's
Way
still
left.
not.
What? So you're IRA?
Yeah. It's otherwise it's not possible because of me driving. So I know other people can be easier on the throttle or smooth around the corners, but where I've never had to do that with me traction control.
Yeah.
It's difficult to get used to, and I've noticed in 5-lap races.
Isn't that the beauty of a new game? Learning, developing.
Yeah. But the problem that it's created is, I think it's taken a bit of the strategy out. It's hard mediums or medium hards on nearly every track.
Softs do appear a little bit redundant so far, I must admit, but how often do you see the soft tyre become a strategy in real life F1? You rarely see it unless there's a late safety car. Obviously we saw it a little bit this weekend in Hungary in real life, with the temperatures dropping, a little bit kinder on the tyres, not as much wear, not as much energy going through the wheels. You could preserve them a bit better. Okay, so we got Mac, who I believe has just started the hot lap. Moz, take us through on board, Mac.
It's looking steady, but that's one thing I think he's been really working on recently, rather than his pace, which I think has always been there. It's his consistency that really improved.
Yeah, I did notice during France his pace was a lot more consistent. He had good race pace, and he did have the consistency to match it there. It's looking a very bar a little wobble there. Back end complained a little bit. And invalidate. It was looking a clean lap. It was looking very smooth.
But he's definitely sacrificing a bit of speed to ensure.
I think that's smart though.
Yeah,
I think that's very smart because,
100%.
you know, as the great Schumacher once said, to finish first you have to finish.
And that is a quote that a lot of people should take note of.
Dylan in particular.
Yes, Dylan.
Dylan is another one with good pace
on the outlap.
Dylan likes to make it hard for himself. He never does things simply. I remember when he joined the league last season, he would either win or DNF for about the first 4 races. There was no in between. It was a little bit like Max Verstappen in the real life season, up to about the 4 race point. It would literally either be a win or a DNF.
I don't win. I never win, and I never DNF.
Hey, this season, me and you, Division 2, we're going to win that Constructors, right?
Hopefully. That's the only chance I've got to win.
Consistent points. That is the one. That's what we're going for. Okay, so we have, from the other side of the pond, Jaeber on a outlap. I think he maybe charged his battery, so letting a few guys go through.
Yeah, he's done 2 laps on these tyres.
2 laps. It's saying 0 laps on, according to the data I'm looking at. And indeed the whole stream. Meanwhile, we got, not quite sure how to pronounce that, Skona?
Oh no, that's his best time was done on 2 laps.
Ah, right, okay. No, Skona's not on a hot lap. We have Rio, who has just joined. This is a new member from RTTF. We have a lot of members coming over from RTTF this season. Welcome to you all. Happy to have you here at Full Force Racing League. Looking forward to this season, Moz. A lot of new drivers.
It's going to be epic. I mean, pre-season.
Oh, Rio goes wide.
Pre-season, we've mixed a lot of drivers up. We've had people in different.
Yeah. Oh no! Divisions. No! Oh, what happened there? What happened there?
Is that
Who was that? That was Madge. That was Madge.
Madge has got a 5-place grid penalty for
absolutely.
a collision with Rio.
We caught that on the stream. It did. Madge was weaving all over the racing line. As much as I love Madge, I gotta admit that was his fault there. That will definitely be reported to the stewards. 100%. Oh, Madge, what were you doing?
And Muazza Essa with the fastest lap, a 1:17.1. That's a good time. That is a good time.
That was... I can't really believe what I just seen. It sort of reminds me of a situation I had. I think
So
with
it looks
pickups
like
back at Bahrain last
Brownman's
season.
halfway through a hot lap. The OG.
We're going to go on board with him right now.
Can he take provisional pole
he
back?
spins.
No.
Spins.
Oh, nearly. He nearly pulled off the Verstappen 360.
Nearly.
Nearly.
Bit too much power. Back end could not handle it. Oh, it's so delicate round that left-right chicane round Hungary. It has more grip.
So is he good? Do you reckon he's going to go straight for another hot lap?
I'm not too sure. I don't think so, because he will have to charge the battery up now. He will have to charge the battery up.
He's going for it.
Or is he going to go for another cool-down lap to let his battery charge? It looks pretty full beans to me.
Yeah.
No, I think this may be... Yeah, I think he may be going for it straight away. Alright, Mozza, take us through this hot lap, please.
So that's nice and clean, DRS. Oh, shit. Silence the phone. Sorry, everyone.
The professionalism.
The phone is now on silent. Move around there, using as much track as you can. The car's out the way. I hate this corner coming up. He doesn't risk it too much. He played that safe. Nice and tight to the apex. I don't think he's gonna... I don't think this is gonna be quick enough. It's smooth. It's good. But I don't see him making up the difference on this lap.
Oh no, he's done exactly what his teammate's done, and he's DNF'd himself. Once again, too much power on the rear. It couldn't rear even. It couldn't handle it. He spins around front left into the wall and absolutely collapsed.
So 4 DNFs in quali, 1 grid place penalty, and poor Rio. Luckily, his time at the minute is good enough to start in 7th, but...
It is. Do you expect that to drop, though, with the track evolution coming up now?
You would have thought so. Especially considering how close the following 4 drivers are to his time.
Absolutely. There's just a couple of attempts back to 11th, back to MC there. I think during the race, that corner's going to claim a few people. If they're dropping the back end now, if they can't get that rear in line when there isn't a lot of fuel on board, the potential for a tank slapper is going to be huge in the actual race. You know, they're going to be loaded up with, I think about 35 laps of fuel, if I'm correct, around Hungary. 35 laps of fuel. If they step that rear out and just put a smidge too much power on, the back end is going to complain. They have to get the correction done early on. You see how close that wall is. It will claim a few cars, I feel. I've got a feeling it will. Flag sector 2, I think that's just somebody going slowly on the low, getting all over his curbs there on the outlap.
Sorry to interrupt, Joe. Have you got a request to join? And if you have, from static, can you?
Yes, just did. Sorry about that slight pause there, guys. What beverage have you got, Moz?
I'm beverage-less at the minute. So you've accepted that thing, yeah?
I did, yeah.
Just said he's left.
I know, that was a strange one. Okay, meanwhile, we've got on the Lolo on a hot lap, which we're going to talk through now. Coming down into turn 2, the long, sweeping left-hander, which just wants the car to understeer, but he goes through there neat. Chooses a good line back to the right-hander. Doesn't quite use all the track on the exit. Plays it safe. Difficult little blind left-hander there. Takes it nice. Purple first sector for on the Lolo. Gradual with the power here. using all the track again, getting in the middle of the curb, gives you the best traction, navigates the chicane well, has to be careful with the power there, that curve can slip you up. Now the chicane, which has already claimed the Ferrari and a few spinners, not for on the low. He's neat and tidy through there. Coming through to the fast right-hander now, want to get on the power as much as possible, but he spins into the wall. And miraculously does not break the front wing. Not sure how he didn't, and that's qualifying over. That is qualifying over. Who managed to make it over the line, Mozza?
Sorry about that, I've been on mute.
Haxi did. I think Haxi made it over the line, but he's just invalidated his lap. Yaber, who moves up to 6th with a very impressive 1:18.192. Very good, Yaber. Very, very nice lap.
He's making good progress.
Meanwhile, Coupe de Grasse, he's a 10th down on his previous lap. No battery. I think Garner, that was just spun out there in the middle of the track. I don't think he's going to improve his time. Uses all the track there. Very brave. Coming through the long right-hander now. Short shifts into 6th. He's actually 2 tenths up now. Late braking there, down into 3rd gear, using the car very smoothly, shifting the weight nicely. And now the penultimate corner. Can he get traction on the exit? You bet he can. Now the last corner, the right-hander has to be patient. He really is millimetres away from that wall. But he's run out of fuel. He's run out of fuel. Oh, that looked good. He was a few tenths up as well. Could have improved from 8th there. Oh, that is gutting. That is absolutely gutting. Okay, Moz, so qualifying.
So we've got Muaz Essa. I've not raced with him before. On pole with a 1:17.1. OG Brownman with a 1:17.5. Garner with a 1:17.7. Roku and Itemizer. The gap is
non-existent.
Microscopic.
You could not tell that with a naked eye whatsoever, no matter how many times you watch that.
Jaber's snuck into 6th. MC 7th. Madge with a 5-place grid penalty, even though he's all the way at the back anyway.
He will be starting plumb last.
Yeah. I'm going to send him a message right now. A friendly, abusive one.
Okay, we're just having a little review of the incidents here. So, Dylan started proceedings off with DNF. That's both Ferraris that DNF'd. I do think they are friends in real life as well. So maybe a setup problem. Maybe a little bit too risky on the setup there, causing the back end to snap round.
They might not have sorted the tyre temp.
Exactly. It literally could have been something as simple as that.
Especially because so many people get their setups from time trials. And so many time trial setups are very high tyre pressures because they're for 1 lap.
Yes.
And if you forget, so sometimes you might know, but you load your setup up and then just forget.
It's very easy to do. We've both done it in the past.
Anyone does that this race, it's game over. Your only bet is to go as long as you can on the hards and be really slow. You just have to drive slow to even make it to the end of the race.
Another thing as well.
It's a 4-stop.
Another thing as well. Have to remember, everyone does have different driving styles. What can work for person A may not be able to work for person B, and vice versa. Take me and you, for example. Your setups may not necessarily work for me. I think you like a much more stable car. I like a little bit of a twitchy, pointy car.
And you love downforce.
I do love downforce.
Which I don't need, because I have traction control.
But hey, you're the one that can get us the points at the end of the day. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. I hope everyone managed to adjust their tyre pressures before the race. As we start the formation lap, another thing new to this game is the formation lap, Moz. The chance to heat your own tyres up.
Bets. So the last one I commentated on, and I hate that it says they're disqualified, because it shouldn't say they're disqualified.
No.
Parking it wrong. It should just say grid movement, or just something a little less hard. How many do you reckon can't park it? 'Cause
Oh,
not as
talking
easy
of
as it looks.
disqualified, Joey and Mac. I'm guessing that is Joey crashing into Mac. As usual. I tell you what, three things in life are certain.
No, I don't think it is. 'Cause
Death,
if you look on the full
taxes,
map,
and Joey disqualified from the formation lap.
if you look on the full map, there's plenty of space between them. I just don't think either of them have moved. Or they all hate the formation
Because
lap,
Joey
they're
probably
all going.
jumped the
They're
jump
all
the start.
going.
But yeah,
One by one.
predictions. People to look out for. I was impressed with Jaber's lap there. Jaber's showing some good pace. Obviously you got Muaz as OG Brownman, who I know is a quick driver, but he's not the most consistent and he is very accident prone. So if he can keep it on the road, he'll have a great chance for at least a podium, if not the race win. But he does need to keep it on the road. Rakusho, who I absolutely love having a battle with. He is a fantastic driver, good pace, rarely makes any mistakes. He forces you to up your game. Very respectful driver as well. He's a driver you can go wheel to wheel with. He'll push you hard, but he will give you the respect.
Trust, though. It's
yeah,
the trust,
I
it?
do
so,
trust Rakusho all the way.
So that if there's a car's width there, you can put your car in it.
Yes, exactly, and he will let you have that, but
he won't oversteer into you.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Right,
okay, so everyone's lining up.
My predictions are going to be, I think S is going to take the win.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to go Garner for second, and I reckon Mac is going to sneak the last podium spot.
Yeah? Okay,
yeah.
Okay. I think I'd agree with that. I'd put Roku in the podium. I'm not sure at who the expense. I'm backing Jaber and Mac to show good pace and consistency. Rio looked very good in the trial races, so I think he can definitely score some good points today. Other than that, it's going to be so open. This is the first race I've commentated on this season, and we're just waiting. I'm not too sure who we're waiting for. I do hope everyone's tyres are okay. Well, we must be waiting for something. Maybe not someone, but something. Okay, so predicted pit strategies. If it's a one stop, around about lap 16 to 21. Two stop, 8 to 11, and I think that was the late 20s there, maybe.
I have a feeling that so many people have disqualified that
the game has, yeah, or it could have been Static Black joining and screwing it up, because I know that was a problem on the last game.
Can any of the drivers just set off? Have we got to wait for lights?
Yeah, we will have to wait for lights.
Can anyone go?
Nope. There's no lights, nobody's home.
Oh, well, this has just come up for me. The predicted pit stop strategy has just come up on the screen. It's a bit of progress. Later than you, but...
We'll give it a minute before we tell all of you who are driving to leave, and I'll redo the lobby.
Yeah, it looks like we're gone.
Oh.
Can they all just join back? Or...
No, race is not starting when host spectates the formation lap, and everyone has left. So yeah, we're gonna have to we're gonna have to redo the lobby. We're gonna have to redo the lobby, guys. I will redo the lobby and invite you now.
Did you get a picture of who's where?
No, could you get a picture, please, mate?
Yeah.
Everyone leave. You got the picture?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about this, guys. Slight delay. Rio's just made me aware that apparently there's an issue. Race is not starting when host spectates the formation lap. Oh, that's not. Is it? Well.
And it is.
Uh, checking the error status.